Mm.
Just waiting on Twitter and stuff to load up real quick. There we go. All right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna to free soul till he free.
Mm-hmm.
Free soul till he free.
Big
At least he can
facts.
practice.
Yeah. Yeah, at least he can practice. What the heck? Hold on. Twitter's actually being the pain right now. If you could believe that.
I can see it.
It's rare, but it does happen. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Okay, you ready?
Let's get it.
And five, four, three, two, and one. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here on the Welcome Podcast. I am your host, Famously Garnet, and a joined by host Q.
What it do, y'all? What it do?
And in today's episode, we are talking about practice. Yes, we are talking about practice, not Allen Iverson's practice, but the different kind of Gamecock football practice that is currently going on. Yes, we are in that part of the season, folks. Talking time is over. Pads are popping, and we are back to that. And the coaches poll, the upcoming coaches poll for this preseason has released. Brett McMurphy, he had his say in it, but it doesn't matter. The coaches poll is officially out. We will talk about that. And Q, I mean, talking time. It's over. It is completely done. Now, before we get this thing started, Rosal Faison, we didn't know what was going on with him, but he has been cleared to practice. And I said he was cleared to practice with the football team. That's why he wasn't on there on day one. But now that has been cleared, we will see what goes on from there. But honestly, Q, we're just a couple days in with practice, right?
Yeah.
Not a ton of things coming out yet. What are your thoughts about so far about, for one, Faison having to be cleared to practice, as we thought that decision would have already come before this, but we are where we are, right? And the NCAA keeps being the NCAA.
I mean, you know me. It's stupid, bro. There's no other if ands or buts about it. It's pretty stupid. Faison having to be cleared to practice was dumb. But if y'all go back about a month or two ago, I told you there were going to be some clearings that we were going to have to do if we didn't get a result before, before practices started. We knew that there was going to have to be some house things we had to do in order for him to practice or anything. Once again, you know my opinion. This is why I'm not the coach. Faison would have practiced of a clear or not. Faison would play game one. If he's cleared or not, I don't care. I think he's instrumental to that backfield. But I will say this though. So you're right, FG. There's a lot that has not come out of practice. But there's a couple things I do want to hit on. For one, I think we'll be okay at running back. Oscar Attaway was not healthy a lot last year. He played a lot, but he was not necessarily healthy a lot last year. He's very much healthy this year. Matthew Fuller and Jawan Howe will take over as the stable if we cannot get Faison cleared. So as Faison told you himself when he spoke, if I still am not cleared, we're gonna be okay. That's a lot because he knows the room better than anyone else. So I am okay with them. The wide receiver group, word out of practice is that those cats can run some seriously good routes.
Hmm.
Now, let me explain to y'all why that's important. I'm going to call out my co host, Sin. I love Sin to death. Sin's a value member of this team. Sin is also a non ball knower. I said what I said, Sin. He's a non ball knower. He wanted a transfer wide receiver so bad for no reason. He gave no reason other than just building on debt. Basically, what Sin wanted to do, type of person, you give him $100 gift card, he wants to spend the whole $100. You tell him to spend the least amount you can, Sin's going to come back and tell you, I'm spending the 100, and I don't care. This is where Sin was wrong. One thing we knew about Sin is we knew this wide receiver group had a lot of route runners. That's what Fury went out and got. Guys that could run routes. Malik Clark, a freaking bubble screen specialist. I saw it myself when he played River Buff. Donovan Murph, I mean, my God. An all-around player, can stretch the field, is literally pound for pound one of the best prospects we have gotten out wide receiver in a very, very long time. Lex Cyrus with the speed can also return. Jaden Sellers, the diamond in the rough. And then you add in Brian Rowe, who, once again, I never get tired of telling y'all this. If that man was 6'2", he would have been 5-star plus. He would have been a 5-star plus. I am 110% convinced that Brian Rowe might can jump to the moon. I'm convinced.
He's got a vertical.
You pair all these guys together. You pair, of course, Jordan Gidron, who I want to say him being healthy was something I was tug and pull about. But supposedly he's pretty healthy. And being healthy now he can catch up and get up to speed to where he needs to be. So I'm excited about him too. So the wide receiver room is coming along. A lot of what Nick Harbor was able to show and do, I think that's another big thing, because you're starting to see what a full offseason can do for Nick Harbor. So that's something that's came out of camp as well. And also, I've heard the defense has a chip on their shoulder. I've been told one of the things about the defense was everyone keeps saying the defense is going to take this huge step back. And a lot of guys are looking like we have a lot of people returning.
Mm-hmm.
And a video I saw, it just kind of popped up today, made me realize the defense because of one of their leaders. You remember the video where Shane and them, where the mannequin one, where they switched out the mannequin for whoever was in the suit and were scaring people.
Yeah.
And it got to Dylan. His face never changed, and he literally stiff armed the person. Do you understand, folks, how unbothered and unfazed and fearless you have to be when someone that's bigger than you is coming at you? You don't even see it, and you don't even flinch. You just kind of stiff arm them. That's the mentality the defense has taken on. You see a lot of guys like, we want the challenge, we want this. A lot of guys still have the chip on their shoulder about Alabama. They still have the chip on the shoulder about LSU game. They said the chip on the shoulder, like the worst performance they played was literally the Ole Miss game. The most dangerous thing that could have happened last year, which I told you guys, was Shane Beamer getting a taste of getting to the playoff. He was right there, literally at the doorstep. He just couldn't ring the doorbell. And a lot of people in that room were right there with them and couldn't ring the doorbell. So when you have situations like that, when you're looking at situations in that type of time and that type of nature, I'm more convinced than ever that this team's mentality is strong. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about where the offensive line is here in the next week or two, especially moving into the first scrimmage. I want to hear where the offensive line is. I want to hear more cohesiveness, where the offense will be. Those are the type of things I'm looking to hear. And so out of fall camp, you have a lot of work being done, a lot of pressures being done with kicking too. Once again, special teams really kind of cost us a couple times last year. I really want to shy away from that happening this year. And I think we're working a lot towards that. And once again, a new scheme might play a role in that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like a new scheme wouldn't play a role in that. I can't lie, because a new scheme is tough. That's a tough situation to get into when you go from Pete Lembo to Joe D. Both elite special teams guys, but that's important to get to. So those are things you're looking at. RB2, if it's cleared, RB2 is or Oscar Attaway, whoever gets RB1, the other person will have RB2, and then RB3 will be Jawan Howell or Matthew Fuller, and we kind of ride from there. Isaiah from Colorado is still working his way through. He's still got a lot to learn. He was a late addition, so you have to kind of give him time. And I think it may be good that he does redshirt. We don't know what that's going to look like, but I am very strongly optimistic on how this offense is going to look and can take those steps forward that we'll need, because as I broke down in the offensive part, which I will break down defense today, as I broke down in the offensive part of this, you're going to have to find 3,500 yards, which I don't know if you peep game, but a lot of people are starting to say that 3,500 yard mark that I put out there. If you've seen, a couple people have said the same thing about 3,500 yards being a huge role in that. So I think 3,500 passing needs to happen. 17 to 1,900 yards minimum rushing needs to happen. And then whatever extra you get from that is whatever extra you get. So that's what the offense got to look like. But out of camp so far, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and one of the things too that can't be forgotten is the injuries that have already started in the fall that you won't have. You won't have Ryan Baker. You won't have Caleb Williams, the freshman coming in, the 4-star defensive lineman. Jaylen Brown, the Missouri transfer. You won't have him at least for the fall.
I think
camp.
He's done for the year.
I mean,
I think he's done. I think
he could be. We'll see.
I think I'm kind of worried about him. I think he may be one.
Yeah.
We'll
find out.
I'm worried about Jaylen. I think of the four, I'll say two I think will make a return before camp's over, before we play a game, might be Caleb and Sandy, or my two that I would definitely watch. From what I've been hearing. Yeah. A couple things that I've been hearing is that, like, I think Sandy and I think it'd be Sandy and Caleb Williams. I think those both. I think Caleb's already been kind of working out a little bit.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
I know he's on the way back, but as far as Jaylen Brown, I mean, that could be the fact he may not play this year. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, we don't have all the keys there, so we'll find out when that time comes. Luke Doty has been officially named QB2 going into fall camp. That was really not too surprising for one to have the most snaps under his belt in the collegiate game, and then also at the same time, I mean, the long time that he's been with a team, he is a veteran. He is a leader. I don't understand why this comes to a surprise to anybody. I simply don't. I really don't get it. He was on the show talking about working with the quarterback room just a couple weeks ago with us, and I still don't understand how this blows people's mind. Like, he talked about avidly working as QB2, working in with directly with the quarterbacks, getting guys like Cutter Woods, Aaron Nolan ready when that time comes. But at this point, I don't understand how we are all surprised that Luke Doty is QB2. It's the right call, in my opinion. I don't understand how it's not the right call. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Now, could things change come Virginia Tech time? Could it be QB3 at that time? I don't know, possibly. But where we're at right now, for him to be QB2 is not far-fetched at all, guys. It's not.
I mean, what do you think he came back for? What do you think he's here for? Guys, what do you think he's back here for? He's back here to be a leader. You got to have that kind of leadership in your locker room. I'm sorry. You guys want to be successful? How do you think we were successful last year? You had that leadership come back and was in that last year. You still need that this year in the locker room. So, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm
100% cool with him.
Yeah, blows my mind.
I'm 100% cool with it.
It was a shock to anybody. Q, the coaches poll officially dropped today. The top 25, the old top 25 coaches poll dropped today. South Carolina coming in at the highest since 2014, actually being ranked since 2014 at number 13 in the coaches poll. Number 13, and that's coming behind schools like Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Clemson, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, Miami, Arizona State, Illinois, for whatever reason, keeps getting ranked next to South Carolina in one way or the other. And then, of course, you have Michigan, Ole Miss, SMU, schools like that behind them. Q, what are your thoughts about South Carolina coming in at number 13 in the coaches poll for the top 25 preseason coaches poll?
I'm good with it. I'm 100% good with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm good with it. 100% good with it. I don't have an issue with it. I I'm okay with it. I'm good. I'm good. It's prove it time. I love expectations right now, and it's time to prove that we deserve to be where we're at. So I'm good with it.
And at the end of the day, we all know that the college football playoff poll is the only thing that matters. The rankings, that the only thing that matters in college football. You can be the highest in the ATP top 25, the coaches poll. None of that matters once that official college football playoffs poll, a ranking rolls out every time. We know this. We found out the hard way last year, unfortunately. Unbeknownst to the voters, of course. Brett McMurphy
Mhm.
feels some type of way about South Carolina, though, again, and that's not too surprising. But I want to remind fans this. Brett McMurphy was a guy that had Florida State in his top 15 last year. Seems like Oklahoma State in his top 15 last year. Other schools that just did not simply belong in the conversation. So if you see something like that from Brett McMurphy, he just has he's just out against South Carolina. And I don't understand his thing against the Gamecocks, but it is what it is. Brett McMurphy continues to stand on it. Hey, look, I respect you. You want to stand on, hating on a team? That's fine. That's fine. But when they're out to prove you wrong again, just know it's coming. And South Carolina already has plenty of bulletin board out there ready to go. Plenty of bulletin board material ready to go. So that's my take on Brett McMurphy and his top 25 rankings. And he's something. He is something.
Hold
And
on. I want to address a question I just saw. Question was, how do we go against a team that has all off season to prepare for sellers? So this is I'm glad you asked that question. And that's why I'm stopping to actually address that question, because I've kind of been waiting for people to bring that up. You can have all the tape you want to on Lenore Sellers, but a lot of the things people realized about Lenore's was that he has escapability. You can't plan for escapability. You can't plan for someone being able to make things happen whenever things break down. There's literally no way, shape, form, or fashion you can coach that, because if you focus in on just Lenore Sellers, guess what's happening? People get open. If you put a spy in there, guess what opens up? That middle. And when you have a route runner, especially one as Brian Rowe, who's fearless in the middle, or you have Amazio Bennett, who's gotten bigger over the offseason, you have a lot of issues when it comes to that. The biggest thing that has to take the jump is those guys have to have the confidence with Lenore's to make the plays. If you have the confidence to make the plays, we're good. So you can you can you have a new offensive coordinator who has worked with Sellers for over a year. You also have, in my personal opinion, a healthier wide receiver room, because I can't take away Delvon. If we had Delvon Campbell healthy, we're in the playoffs. If Gage Laverdane was healthy, we're in the playoffs. I can't express that to you guys enough. Honestly, we're literally in the playoffs. And so, with that being said, with that being the motive, with that being the thought process, I got to help you guys understand something when it comes to Lenore's. You can game plan for Lenore's all day, every day, and on every single Sunday. That does not take the fact away that, one, his offensive coordinator was a guy that was mechanics last year. So they're going to emphasize more on showing what he's able to do with his arm. Because I know you're going to stack the box. Because if you give him the running lanes, he's going to take them. So I know you're going to stack the box. So guess what's going to happen when you stack the box? He's going to throw the ball. And I want to also emphasize this. I get it, everybody saw the Illinois game. That's fine. If you want to base it off of the Illinois game, by all means, be my guest. I don't care. But what I will say is, you're not going to see a situation like that, because Mike Shula already pissed off going into that game with the situation they had to put themselves in. FG will tell you he was pissed. He was pissed how it ended. He was pissed what ended up happening. He was pissed. I wouldn't worry about the Illinois game as much as you got to worry about that.
no.
I think Lenore's will be hard to game plan still against. If you put your focus on him, look what happened when people started game playing against Dylan Stewart. When you put your focus on him, Kyle Kennard ended up with 11 and a half sacks. That's all I'm saying. You
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
you have to look at what's given to you. So I just wanted to address that. I saw that question. Very good question. Thank you for the question. But I personally am not worried about game plan against the Norse because that means other people get to step up. And
Mhm.
that means we get to showcase what's really on this team. So,
Yeah, and the thing with Sellers last year, I mean, I talked to Connor Shaw before the season started about this, and he said that, I mean, Sellers would hide a lot of weaknesses to this team last year on offense, and quite frankly, he was not wrong about that. I mean, South Carolina's wide receiver core last year is very inexperienced, very very young. I mean, you had a
mm-hmm,
lot of injuries. Obviously, it was Dale Von Campbell, right? Jared Brown, the guys like that, they weren't healthy, right? They weren't healthy. This year, you have that experience. You have a second year of Mazeo Bennett. You have a full off season of Nick Harbor, right? You've got a healthy Jared Brown,
mm-hmm,
Vandrevius Jacobs, another guy that has learned the system. And of course, these
mm-hmm.
brilliant freshmen. This year, a tight end is not going to lead in receiving yards for the Gamecocks this
Yeah,
year. It's
I don't
just
think
not
that's
going
going
to
to happen
happen.
this year.
It's
I don't
not
think
going
that's
to
going to happen
happen.
this year at all.
It's not going to happen. I
I think
can't wait to
Michael
see
Smith
it.
has an
I can't
amazing
wait to see
year.
it.
I
Oh, for
do think
sure.
Michael Smith has a great, and I think he
Sure.
does get some solid receiving yards. But I agree 110%. A receiver's only.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that. I think Michael Smith's going to be phenomenal, and that's not a shot at Michael Smith saying that a tight end is not going to lead receivers this year in receptions or in receiving yards. It's not.
It's just
It's
time
not the
we show
best.
that what our receivers are. Yeah, we just need to
Absolutely.
show what our receivers are capable of, and that's what they're capable of is leading us in receiving yards. I think we can have the same kind of yardage that you saw with Clemson's receivers and how they played, and get some tight ends love in there too. I just think that's what we have the capability of doing, putting the pieces together.
Yeah, I do agree. Well, Q, let's go ahead. We'll get a break in real quick, and then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about this defense this upcoming season and kind of break that down
Mhm.
and talk about what that looks like. I was at the 22-minute mark. Set that there. Appreciate the questions over there on the old TikTok page,
Mhm.
Facebook, YouTube. Appreciate the questions rolling in here. All right. Give me a 5-second countdown at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this defense and what this defense could look like this upcoming season. And Q, go ahead and start on the defensive line where you're looking like obviously Jalen Brown is questionable to see where his status is this season, but you've got some great returners on the defensive line, headline with Nick Barry, Dylan Stewart, and some newcomers. Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, y'all. So as I broke down the offense and go solid by solid with defense, what you're doing, you start with Case Boom Coon, and that's Dylan Stewart. You don't I mean, what can you say to that? I you don't find people like Dylan. You don't find the talent, the bend, the bull rush, all those things that Dylan is capable of. You don't find that in players like that. So Dylan has gotten stronger. He's going to be way better against the run this year than he was last year, which will be a plus. I just think we're looking at a very good Dylan this year. Opposite of Dylan, there's a couple guys I'm really looking at, ready to say, ready to time to step up. First up, a guy that I've been big on. I don't know, FG. I've been big on this guy since we found out he was coming here, and that's Desmond Umezulu.
Mm.
I want Desmond Umezulu to have that type of season that I know he's capable of having next year. I think that's huge product of what we need next year is Desmond Umezulu stepping up. I want him opposite of Dylan, and I think those two guys together can make a tremendous step into that edge rushing and setting the edge for, you know, when it comes to the run game. Brian Thomas Jr. He doesn't get the love he deserves because a lot of people don't realize what he produced. He produced, what was it, 5 sacks last year? Like 5 sacks last year, 4 or 5 sacks last year, and quietly getting that while Dylan had 6.5, Card had double digits. That's huge, folks. That's huge. I need those guys at the edge position. I need 20 sacks this year. Oh, it was about the same last year, so I need about 20 sacks from them this year. Moving inside, D line. It starts and ends with absolute production. And when I say absolute, you've got to have some serious production and step up from Markel Goodwine, Nick Barrett, and Dindy.
Mm.
All those guys have got to step up and produce like no tomorrow. Those three have got to give you some solid numbers. Outside of those three, what you can get from Pikes, Troy Pikes, Miles, Caleb, and Ingram, and Hardy is nothing but extra on that. One of those guys have got to step up, and they've got to bring in the fourth level production. If you can get that production and you can get about 10 sacks from those guys, minimum, about 20 to 25 from the edges, hey, man, that's a 10-win season right there for the trenches. Moving to linebacker. So 5-headed monster. Justin from Bama, Murphy, Willis, Johnson. Fred's your leader. Fred's been here. Fred's your leader. Willis is an older guy. He's a leader as well. You got to have both of those guys. You need the production from the linebacker room ASAP. But I want to bring one more person into this, FG, if you don't mind. Darden. FG, you know as well as I do how high I was on Darden.
Yep.
I wanted that signature like I need water. Darden is going to be key as well. If he can continue to come along as he has been, and he continues to get a grasp of what's going on, hey, man, that's going to be a dangerous room.
Mm-hmm.
Very underrated. So the linebackers, I will say the linebacker room needs to give me at least 200 tackles. Figure it out. Figure it out. You know what? I ain't going to do you like that. I need 150 to 200 tackles. Figure it out. So in that range. Secondary. A very big strength of this team. We lost a lot, but we also returned a lot. That is literally the secondary is the definition of losing a lot and returning a lot. Losing Nick Emmanwori and OD Fortune last year is big losses.
Absolutely.
But you return Collier. You return Jalen Kilgore.
Mm-hmm.
You return Vicari Swain. You return DQ Smith. You are returning a lot of talent to that room. And you added talent in Brian Cisse, who, my God, as much as I've heard how much of a junkie he is, hey, man, along with Miles Norwood, one, that's the deepest corner room we've had. I think since Shane's been here, that's the deepest cornerback room we've ever had. And you still got Gerald Kilgore, Boosie, you got Kelvin Hunter, Jalewis Solomon. That secondary is lethal. That second can go too deep. And I can't forget Peyton Williams. Peyton Williams, I'm telling y'all, go back to that Tennessee game back in, what was it, 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to that 2022. Go back to that 2022 Tennessee game.
Yep.
That's all I got to say to it. Peyton came in when Nick had to go out. Peyton came in, balled. I'm telling you now, that secondary, I need 10 interceptions. I need at least 30 to 35 pass breakups amongst the group. Yeah. 10 interceptions, at least 30 to 35 pass breakups. All those combined together, along with the offense, that is a championship caliber team. That is what championship people do. That's why I'm with the defense. Do I think they can take a step back? There's a chance they could take a step back, but I also think there's a chance they could take a step forward. and I feel very confident about this defense. I'm more confident than a lot of people are on this defense, but I'm very confident with them.
I like it. I like it. To add to that, I would say, newcomers like Devontae Miles, I would keep an eye out on that to see how he looks. I mean, Clayton White was big on him. Him and I talked about Miles after, they grabbed him from the transfer portal. I mean, he's got some great upside. Troy Pike's another guy too, right? Another guy to watch out for. Zay
Mhm.
Hardy, I can't say enough. I'm so glad they got him back in this class. I mean, that was a tremendous get him back to South Carolina to
Mhm.
get him back right. George Wilson, another guy to potentially watch. I'm not
Mm.
saying that he's going to be a world beater, but I don't truly believe he's
Mhm.
got the proper development yet. I truly
That's
don't believe
true.
he's seen that.
It's a good one.
I
It's a
would
good
like to
one.
see him working with the coaches and see what he can do for his final season of football. I mean, he may have something there. I don't know. You really never know. But remember this, guys. When it comes to defensive guys, like South Carolina has done a job in the portal when it comes to getting them. I mean, just look at Demetrius Knight. Coaches told Shane that Demetrius would not work out at South Carolina, and we all saw what happened.
Mhm.
We all saw what happened with that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
as far as linebackers go, Q another guy I could see really working out for him is Anthony Addison. He's done some work there, potentially kind of that
Very true.
that tweener kind of thing. I think probably more defensive line, but we'll really see there.
Mhm.
It's secondary, man. He's too good to keep him off the field. But Kendall Daniels, I'm
Love
a
him.
big
Love him.
guy, big fan of Kendall Daniels. I really like to
Love him.
see his game. Of course,
And,
Kelvin
and shout out to
Hunter,
little bro,
great.
Dodd too. I think
Yeah,
Dodd on
Quay
the
Dot.
edge.
Yep.
He's gonna have a say. Little bro gonna have a say,
Yes.
and I'm looking forward to seeing what he gonna be able to do too. Little bro gonna have a say. I'm a big fan of him, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Quay Dodd is a fantastic kid. Love him out there from the
Mhm.
upstate of South Carolina, outside of Greenville. Just a great kid, and we just I hope the best for him. I mean, he's
Mhm.
come into the program and
He's working. He put
he's
him working.
working. He's
He
put in some
working.
work. He's put on some weight. He's getting strong. I mean, you look at a lot of these guys they put on. Brandon
Mhm.
Cisse, right?
Yes.
It is insane to
Yes.
see that transformation from the ACC to the SEC. We're not talking
Yeah.
about non P4 anymore. I mean, that's the ACC to the SEC, and we've seen that transformation from his, what he's done with his body. It's insane.
Yeah. It's a different
Like
ball game.
it's nuts. It really is. But I think South Carolina's secondary. I mean, I think that is the true strength of this defense this year. I mean, it can't be said enough. Torian Gray, I mean, he worked his tail off to get these guys to where they
Mhm.
are. I will tell you this, Judge Collier, Jalen Kilgore, Gerald Kilgore, they've been all been working on in the offseason with J.C. Horn, Israel McQuamu, with Oliver Davis in Atlanta, which if you don't know who Oliver Davis is the top cornerback trainer in the country. I mean, the guy has
Mhm.
put out some great DBs out there, man, some great cornerbacks to play the game that are playing on Sundays right now. So that is, just great to see him working with those guys. And I do think Gerald Kilgore, I mean, that's a guy that is not talked about enough, in my opinion, with Jalen Kilgore being there. I mean, Jalen's probably going to be, first round, second round draft pick next year easily. I mean,
Mhm.
easily. Guys like Jay Lewis Solomon, another guy that I feel like is going to be right there. I'm really interested to see what it looks like in camp to see who's going to battle it out for what spot this year coming up into the
Mhm.
secondary. I really am because there are guys like Peyton Williams, Kendall Daniels, Jay Lewis Solomon. I mean, I think I see these guys all going at it. Everybody. So I'm really interested to see what these battles look like. Of course, Miles Norwood, another guy we can't forget. So I'm it's a just loaded secondary, and I really do believe
It
that is the
is.
strength of South Carolina's defense this year is that secondary. So you lose a Kyle Kennard, right? You lose a Demetrius Knight, you lose a TJ
Mhm.
Sanders, right? You lost Odie
Mhm.
Fortune. All these guys, I mean Tonka, all these guys have put so much work into South Carolina. Alex Huntley, but you do have great depth there, and I think, like I said, I'm optimistic about Jalen Brown. I am. If we can get him back this season, great. If not, I think we'll be all right. I really do. I think we'll be okay there.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed.
And of course, DQ, man. Of course, DQ. What can you say about him from a quarterback to a cornerback? I mean, yeah, to the secondary. I mean, you gotta love it, dude. Gotta love it to be a
Yeah,
safety. It's amazing.
you can play flat out. So, like I said, this defense is going to do. This team's going to take a step forward. It's going to be a huge step forward. So, I'm looking forward to them showing that. I am looking forward to them showing that.
Yeah. Yeah, likewise. I mean, we've got what 27 days if you're listening live right now, the Welcome On
I can't wait.
podcast. 27 days, 26 if you're listening on Tuesday when this show is uploaded. People are asking about the old, Damone Clowney and seeing what that's going to look like. Once again, I feel like that's a kid who really didn't get that proper development either. I'm not saying he's going to be anything like his cousin. Not saying that at all. I know he won't be, but I think you can get serviceable time out of him. I think you can. JT Gear, another guy, he hasn't truly been healthy. If we can get a truly healthy JT Gear, I want to see what that looks like.
Mm.
I want to see what we look like, what it looks like to get a very a true healthy JT Gear. Of course, Desmond Zulu. I mean, what can you say? I mean, he's been fantastic. So I want to see these guys take the next step. I really do. I really do. This secondary
Because no matter how
is going to
people,
be
because
everything.
no matter how people say anything, no one knew how good Demetrius Knight was going to be. No one knew how good Cal Kennard was going to be. No one knew how good the linebacker core was going to be because they said that was the issue with us the year before that. The linebacker core
Sure.
was one of our biggest issues, according to everybody. So everyone keeps saying we lost a massive amount on defense, but everything came down to development last year, and the same thing's going to be said for this year. So therefore, I'm not going to sit there and say they're not going to be ready. They take steps back. You can't say that because nothing's overlooked. You can't sit there all and say anything's overlooked because no one knew who those guys were at all until they play the ball games. So it's all about
Absolutely.
development.
Absolutely. I mean, in my conversations with D Knight said, like, look, I asked him quite, straight, blunt. We were off camera. I said, this is, off camera. This is off the record. Where are we at with South Carolina's linebacker group? He said, they're going to be ready. I was like, just to tell
That's
me
it.
how it is. Tell me how it is. He said, they're going to be ready. And I was like, okay. Okay. Okay.
That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say it was disappointed to when we lost old buddy from the linebacker group. It was, you know, uh, unfortunate with Wendell Gregory, but, you know, it is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. I think South Carolina is going to be. They're going to be ready, and I think you're going to see newcomers like Donovan Darden out there, man. That could potentially
Hmm.
make a problem for opposing offenses out there, for sure. So I can't wait, man. Like I said, we just are not far along, man. We are not far along at all. I mean, it's talking
Not yet.
season's up, Q.
It's here. I can't wait. Yeah, you know me. I ain't talking no more. I'll see y'all in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's wrap this thing up in recruiting. Q, obviously, some Gamecocks. They committed to the Gamecocks, and they were happy about their commitment, and they're shut down the recruitment. Right, a lot of these guys have shut down the recruitment. On the other hand, they committed to other schools. But Shane Beamer had this to say in his press conference. He's had this to say in his little presser about coming up to this season. He said that there are guys currently committed to other programs that are hitting up Shane Beamer and the head coaching staff. Hey, you guys still have room for me. You guys still have room for me. Are y'all serious? Do you still want to bring me in? Which brings me to my thing here, Q, that these players have received these official offers, right? Guys like Zion Ely, right? Guys like that. Obviously, Smoke, right? Smoke received his official offer. Carson Baker, guys of that nature that have committed to other schools. South Carolina's blue blood right now, the ratio, the blue chips is the highest I've seen in a long time. I'm curious to know how this season's going to end. I mean, how this recruiting period is going to end because Q, as we say all the time, recruiting is a what?
It's a marathon, man. It's not a sprint. I
That's
told
it.
y'all 1,000 times. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Do I? And to answer your question, yes, we have ideas. Who has been contacting Shane? We've been had ideas. It started. I can't even explain it. It started a while back. Um, Even when people committed, we knew what was going on. Once again, on this show, we don't tell you for reasons because you don't know what could happen. But once the thing gets out, we'll talk then. We'll have plenty to say then. Let this thing play out. Let all this play out. I promise you, once it all plays out, we'll go from that point. The
Yeah.
focus right now, as I stated before, and I'll say it again, is on the season. Your focus is on the season. Our focus is on the season. So guess what? We need you to focus on the season. The goal is to get to the playoffs. That is our goal. Get to the SEC championship game and get to the playoffs, and also win the state. Let's get it done.
Win the state. Always gotta win that state. Always gotta win the state. South Carolina did make a recent hire, and this hire is an interesting one, considering that he's put together a deal with Nike for the University of his last university he was with. I'm interested, Q, to see what this next step is going to be because obviously we're Under Armour, of course, right? And Under Armour has paid South Carolina very well. I will call it how it is. That has been a hard thing to beat. It's been a very hard thing to beat. But we all know Under Armour's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be, man. It's not the same anymore. It's not.
I do agree with that.
It's not. It's not that.
I'm intrigued to
It's
see
not
how
that
this is going to play
flexible
out as well.
anymore.
But I'm glad we're stacking up. We're getting people that know what's going on, people that can work the front office. I knew this was eventually going to happen. Our hires were going to happen. We're just going to see what happens. Our contract ends June 2026, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
negotiate till January.
Correct. So we've got a little time, but obviously guys like with Donati as well, they all know how this thing goes. They all know how this thing goes. But the hire was Wesley Millette. I think it's the last name how you say it. He's now the Deputy Athletics Director and Chief Marketing Officer. He was officially named on July 30th. So it's something we haven't talked about yet, but it's significant. Like I said, he's going to work out there. Jeremiah Donati, they're all going to work together in unison to see what's going to happen there. But I think it's a huge hire, man. It's a huge hire. He's worked with some big corporations over the years, man. Some big names.
I agree.
MTV, BET, those two right there. I mean, that says a lot, man. It says a lot about stuff that she can do, and I'm interested, man. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens moving forward.
Agreed.
It's going to be very interesting. Q, do you have anything else before we wrap it up, my guy?
Nothing now, man. Like I said, we'll keep chugging along, see how camp's gonna go. We go from there.
Absolutely, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in live, the Welcome On Podcast, live on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok. Appreciate y'all tuning in live there. You can catch the replay of the show, the Welcome On Podcast, on Apple and Spotify, the Welcome On Podcast, the official voice for South Carolina on the Believe Network. Like I said, you can catch the show on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the replays hit, or on Fridays when the second show hits. You can catch the replays there. You can rate and review the show, the Welcome On Podcast, on Apple and Spotify. Guys, we will see you next time.
Peace.